first you're gonna wanna start with a large piece of poster board. I didn't have that, so I actually used 4 pieces of cardstock that I taped together. You're just gonna use what you have around the house, okay? You can use EVA foam, you can do felt, so just something that holds structure. I like the cardstock, to each their own. Piece is 17 by 22. That's how that math worked out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna start rolling it into a cone. There are things where say you can measure it. Yeah, you can do that math if you want, but I'm gonna do just some quick MacGyvering. So this is actually a really great cone. Historically, they would get up to like 2 feet long. Super weird, I love it. And you're gonna want to take your hair down and then gently open the crown so it fits on your head. And if you're gonna wear a wig, give yourself a little bit more room. And don't worry, I'll show you how to secure this to your head later. But ooh, look at that cone shape. I love it. So once you've kind of figured out how you want this to fit on your head, again, being mindful if you're gonna wear a wig, you're gonna take a piece of tape and you're just gonna secure it. She's looking good. Okay, go through it again, tape it all up. I like to over tape. You can never use enough tape, arguably. So tape up your crown, secure it on the inside and the outside. So now we have the base for our medieval Hennin, which is the name for this hat. The Hennin was actually first recorded in 1428 in the Burgundian court, which not many people really know about the Burgundian court, but it is to the Tudors what the Tudors are to Marie Antoinette. Like the Burgundian court in the 15th century was the hot place to be and all the cool girls hung out there. So this was a cool girl hat. And so obviously you can see there's like a little hole in the top. That's great because that's where we're gonna put our floof out of. And then, and by floof I mean veil. Those are historical terms. Just kidding, veil is the appropriate term. And obviously this is a little wonky. So just eyeball it and take a Sharpie, draw yourself a little line. You're just trying to even it out. Don't stress out too much because you're gonna cover this with felt and some fabric and some trim. So if it's a little wonky, as long as it stays on your head comfortably when you cut it, then you're golden. I'm so obsessed. Apps. And now we're gonna cut off the little pieces, recycle those. All right. Ah, so good. Don't worry, we'll make sure it doesn't fall off. I'll show you a little trick with that. Anyways, let's start putting some fabric on this. Oh my God. I feel like this never should have gone out of style. Like, the dress that I'm wearing is light pink. It was my Barbie Galadriel dress and I'm gonna make it into a princess dress. So I'm using this light pink felt that I got. I honestly can't remember where I got it off the top of my head, so I will put it in the comments. And we're gonna cover this with this. By covering it with felt as well, it also helps to like hide the creases of the paper underneath. So I'll show you how to map a pattern now. Okay, so you're gonna lay out your felt fabric onto a corner and the points are going to line up. You're gonna pick a spot on your crown and make a little dot on it. That dot is gonna start all the way at the edge here. And just before you start doing any marking, you're just gonna test it. You're gonna make sure that you follow that dot and that you note that your whole crown is gonna get covered. And usually the math tends to math and it works out. So what we're gonna do is we are going to then mark along the outside at the edge of our hat, rolling it and pivoting it around that fabric, keeping the corners kissing. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. So you see here, I have now marked the edge of my hat base, but I want the fabric to kind of roll in here, right? It's gonna give a nice base for me to put some horsehair in there, and then I can secure it to my head. So you're gonna add, I don't know, like an inch, inch and a half of seam allowance. You can always trim this down. You can never come back and cut it again. So I always like to err on the side of caution and maybe add a little too much seam allowance. That's okay. All right, we're gonna cut that out. So this is literally my favorite part. You get to pick all of the little accoutrements that you want to go with it. So I have some vintage lace that I'm gonna have flowing out of it, some ribbons. I think I might do some decorative motif with this ribbon, and I've got some fluffy lace. So first we're gonna put the felt onto our hat. Okay, so you're gonna line this up while your hot glue gun is heating up. And you're gonna line this up and you're gonna practice rolling it, because what you're gonna wanna pay attention to is the upper area here. You wanna make sure that the whole thing does in fact get covered and that you don't end up with a tulip lip here. So this is sort of what we're looking for, and yeah, definitely practice that. So here's my trick. I actually like to really kind of massage the felt onto the cone because I don't really want any gapping. And as soon as I feel gapping, I just pull it a little tighter and then I continue to roll it. Once I get it to a good space, I kind of take note of it. I'm gonna lay it down on the table with some pressure and let it fall open, okay? From here, I'm gonna take my hot glue gun. I still have my hand in it. It's a little two-handed project. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue. I'm just gonna dot it. We don't need to over hot glue it. There's gonna be plenty of hot glue. And then I pull this tight and I wrap it up. And then I use my right hand to kind of massage it over onto the table so we get a nice flat line. That's gonna be my anchor point. The reason I did that to find the anchor point is because you can kind of see here on camera, this is not a straight parallel line to these edges. There is a bit of a curve because again, we want to make sure we cover the whole hat. So now we've got our little anchor point and we can go back, glue it, and then glue it all the way around. So let's do that together. Okay, so obviously you can make the choice to cut this and have it seam perfectly, but I'm just going to continue around up until this point and then I'm going to cut it off. I'll show you how I do that. Just keep on gluing. The gluing does take forever, but you want to make sure you go slow with it so you don't have any bubbles on your hat. So like I said, you're gonna get it close and then let it overlap. And then you're just gonna glue this portion down. That's why you go slow with it. And yes, there is a little part here that might peek out. You can glue some felt over that, but also don't worry about it because we're gonna add some trim. Some more hot gluing. Gorilla Glue, if you wanna sponsor me, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, gotta love it. It's looking so pretty. Look how fun that is. And the felt with the cardstock or the cardboard, the poster board that you're using, it will make it nice and sturdy. You can also, if you wanted to do this properly, use faux shape. You could use buckram, you could use horsehair fabric, you can use, there's a couple of great thermoformables out there on the market actually, which are used by millinery artists. But you know, we're going for what you have at the house because your friend invited you to the Ren Fair last minute, and that's super exciting and fun. And we want to be a princess. All right. Again, don't stress too much about that crease in the back. We are going to be adding our fun trims. The point is to just make sure that it does lie flush and that you don't have any puckering along the edge line. So at the end of all of that, you're going to have a really cute cone-shaped hat, okay? Again, like I said, don't worry about spaces where you see the paper poking out. We are going to cover this bad boy with some trim. How exciting.